Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello viewers, how's life? I do hope that all of you are doing alright wherever you are. Well, it's very pleased to me to meet you again in this channel AMTV Al Azhar Makassar Television. For 30 minutes ahead, you will be accompanied by me, Miss Rizka Kurnia, as a host. And today we have two guests. This Mr. Iqbal and Mr. Nur Syamsu Sultan.
Yes.
How are you guys?
Alhamdulillah.
Fine,
we are
thanks.
fine.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah. Okay, before we come up to the next session, maybe it would be better if the viewers know who is the guest today. Maybe I'd like to start from Mr. Iqbal. Would you like to introduce yourself to the viewers?
Okay, thanks. My name is Muhammad Iqbal. I am an English teacher.
Okay.
I teach in English private course, and I also teach in Islamic school.
Oh, mashallah.
Yeah, my hobby is watching movies and listening to music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same like me.
Yeah.
I also like to watch TV and listening kinds of music. Okay.
Yeah.
Next, Mr. Iqbal. Next, maybe Mr.
Yeah.
Sultan. Would you mind to introduce yourself?
Thank you. My name is Nur Syamsu Sultan, but my friends just usually call me Nur. Yeah. I work at Al Azhar Islamic School. I'm in charge in Human Resources Department, Social and Da'wah. I think I don't translate it that way. It's a very specific term of Islamic faith, and then sometimes they call it preaching.
Preaching, yes,
but
preaching, sir.
I prefer to use the original one, Da'wah.
Da'wah.
So I am an employee of this school, and also I teach English and Arabic in our mosque near to my house. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. Okay, well,
My
viewers.
hobbies here.
Oh,
Let me tell you my hobbies.
God.
My hobbies are reading,
Reading.
learning English,
Okay.
and learning Quran.
MashaAllah. Amazing.
Very good hobby.
Yeah, very good hobby and very positive hobby.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay, well, viewers, we know that this guests today are very, very great in their job, just like Mr. Iqbal as an English teacher and also as an Islamic teacher too. But he knows how to speak English well. And then Mr. Sultan, he also an employee in Al Azhar School, and also a guide in Da'wah.
Yes,
In the
sure.
most of Al Azhar. Okay, well, viewers, for 30 minutes ahead, we're going to discuss a very interesting topic. It's about English in Islamic Da'wah. Wow, really interesting topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the keyword is about English and Islamic Da'wah. Maybe Mr. Iqbal would give a brief explanation about it, the keyword today. What is actually English in Islamic Da'wah in brief explanation, do you think? What is it?
Let me start from my point of view.
Yeah.
Actually, I teach English, and I always say to my students that never limit your source. Yeah, just not only you study English from your textbook, or not only you study English from your hobby, maybe like music or movies, but use all the way.
Yes.
Use all the way, including this is Islamic terms, also Islamic preaching. I think it is one of good media to also for learning English, because when you limit yourself in English, like for example, one of my lecturer said when I was university, for example, like when you like watch movie, but you only like, for example, action movie, and you don't watch romance, and you don't watch horror, and you don't watch drama, and you don't watch comedy, then your vocabulary is limited on the horror movie.
Yeah.
So my lecturer in university said that never limit your genre. For example, in movies, yeah, watch all kind of movies, comedies, action, romantic, drama, so on and so on. Just watch all of them. So your vocabulary can be coming from anywhere.
Yes.
So just like Islamic preaching or Islamic dawah, I think it is one of a good way for studying English also, because especially mostly we are Muslims. So I think we need to know about Islamic concept, how to say that in English.
Yes.
I think that, yeah. So that's all I think.
Yeah. So what I get from Mr. Iqbal is about we have many sources to learn.
Yes.
Yes. Such as maybe from da'wah. Yeah?
Yeah.
There are many keywords about Islam there, and then we can translate it into English too. Just
Yes.
like maybe additional Quran. Now there are two translations, just
Yes.
like Indonesian and English. That's one of the good point, I think, to learn English too.
Yeah.
Islam. Maybe Mr.
Yeah.
Sultan wants to add
Yeah.
additional ideas.
I think English is very important to enlarge our knowledge, especially in religion, in
Yeah.
Islam. And I realize it because by having knowledge in English, I can improve my knowledge in religion.
Oh, mashallah.
Because so many world-class English Islamic preacher that you can watch in television, also in YouTube channels, in social medias. So by having knowledge in English, actually it makes us richer in
Yes.
knowledge,
Richer.
and also by knowing English, it means we are able to speak English. We can speak to the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
And there are some Islamic international preachers well known, such as Zakir Naik,
Yes.
and
Yes,
also from United States, Norman Khan,
Yeah.
and some others. They can speak to the world because of English. Zakir Naik, actually, he speaks English with Indian style, yeah?
Indian style.
Yeah.
Indian
but
accent.
Indian
but we
accent,
can
yes.
understand,
Yeah.
and then the people can understand, and it become famous because by having English. There are many ulamas, there are many English Islamic preachers, but they don't speak English. So they are well known only in their countries. But whenever they are able to speak English, it will be more larger. The share of the da'wah, it will be larger. And then, so I suggest, especially the youth, to learn English. But I remember when I took English department, our lecturer came to our room and said, "Oh, I'm sorry to see you all taking English department. It means you are going to learn until you die." Oh, now I realized it. You have never finished learning English. Yeah? So I keep learning English, but not by reading the grammar any longer, by watching movie,
Yes.
and also by reading article in English. So English is very important for us if we want to enlarge our knowledge, if we want to be active in Islamic da'wah. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, viewers, I do go along with these two speakers today. Yeah. What I can highlight is about if we want to do da'wah universal, we have to know English. Just like the example Dr. Zakir Naik, he did da'wah through English. And just like what someone said to me, if we know English, we can go to the West. We know it, and if we know Arabic, we can. If we go to the East, we know it. Just like we can hold the world if we master this too, English and Arabic too. Yeah, just like the two items that we cannot separate, da'wah and English. Okay. Next, maybe. In your point of view, Mr. Iqbal, do you think is it necessary for for Islamic teacher to learn English? Is it necessary for them? The teacher who teach PAI religion in the class, should they learn English too? Is it important for them?
Yeah, I guess so, because we have it's like planned for Indonesia in 2000 and in 2045
Yeah.
we will reach golden years, 100 years of our independence, and our government planned that we are in the same position with the development country like China. So I think one way to go there is must be familiar with English. So I mean, if we want to go international, then everything should be used, not only for Islamic teacher, but also for the students. It's important, because how can we compete with another country if we limit our sources, and especially because we have Muslim brothers also in Muslim countries. So how can we communicate with them, and also how to cut the gap between West and East, because there are so many misunderstandings about West and East, especially between religion. So I think it's necessary for the future. I mean, we don't want to talk about today. Maybe today we see it's not necessary, but for the future, if we don't start right now, then we will always left behind, like Singapore, Malaysia.
Yeah.
Because in another country they already use English in their preaching. It's like in Thailand, in Brunei. Some days they use Arabic preaching, and some days they use English preaching. So I think we should think about it right now for the sake of our future.
Okay. Do you agree about it?
Yeah,
So-
I think it's necessary for them, but not all of the teachers have talent, are willing to learn English. Okay.
It's not willing.
Yeah, it's only an alternative, one choice. If you want to develop your knowledge and your da'wah to the world, you speak to the world, use English. And I take part in da'wah by having a channel. I have a channel. It's called Anur Language House, in which I focus on da'wah, and as well as in learning English and learning Arabic. Now, I myself, I'm still learning, but I share my learning with the others through this channel. Yeah.
Yes.
And inshallah, our talk show also will be telecasted in this channel, Anur Language House. So I'm grateful, because I know English, even though I'm still learning, and I can take part in preaching to the world. Yeah, by having known English. And I have a friend, Mr. Iqbal. We have a group in which we call it Belajar Bahasa Quran group in EBA, or learning Al-Quran. Then we share with others, not only from Indonesia, but also from abroad. We have some members from Bangladesh, and also from Pakistan, and maybe there'll be more. Yeah. So I'm grateful with having knowledge in English.
So actually, it is really necessary to master English. Whereas you are an English teacher or another teacher, just Mr. Iqbal, he is Islamic teacher, but he know how to speak English well. Yeah, actually, I wonder, Mister. I wonder whether did you apply English, just like speaking English in your class when you come to your class. Meanwhile, you are teaching Islamic lesson. Have you ever tried to speak English to your students, just like maybe the greeting or the closing activity? Have you ever tried to speak English, applying English language when you teach Islamic learning, Islamic lesson in the class?
Yeah, some things I explain in English, especially the basic pillars of Islam.
Yeah.
So they need to know that, like shahada, prayers, and aims, alms, fasting, and hajj. So they need to know that. And especially the first thing I do is make them memorize the English translation of Surah Al-Fatiha.
Okay.
So because I think it's the basic, the very fundamental surah in the Holy Quran. So they must know how to recite or how to translate Surah Al-Fatiha in English. And also like short surah, like surah the Anas, the human, Al-Falaq, the down, and so on. So I use English terms sometimes, and also I make them to memorize Pancasila, because I think this must be balanced.
Yes, sure.
So they not only strengthen their religion, but they also strengthen about their country.
Yeah.
Because maybe there's a narrative from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, said that if you loving your country is a part of iman. So they need to know about their religion, of course, and they need to be ready to defend their country.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do agree with Mr. Iqbal say that even though we teach Islam to our students, Islamic matters, we should also teach them how to love their country.
Yes.
Just like maybe just like our ministry, Mr. Nadiem Makarim said, now we have to emphasize to Profil Pelajar Pancasila too.
Yeah.
So the students have to know about it.
Yeah.
Besides they have to learn about Islam, they also have to make it balance between Pancasila, their ideology, and Islam too. Yeah. What do you think about Mr. Sultan?
Yeah, I do agree. So by knowing English, we are able to navigate, especially in this digital areas, because English is the most popular language.
Yeah.
And also don't forget the Arabic, because our holy book is in Arabic. And we are grateful because it's the original one, since the period of our Rasulullah Muhammad SAW until now, it's never changed. It's the original one. And whenever the Holy Quran is translated into other language, there must be the original one, because according to the definition of language, translation, if you do translation, there must be a deviation. You never be able to translate 100% correctly. There must be a deviation. So by having knowledge in English and Arabic, I think you'll be happier in this world. And now, Alhamdulillah, Mr. Iqbal and me, we have we call it Al-Asr Al-Khair Training Center,
yes.
in the mosque.
Al-Khair.
Yeah, in which we guide the Jama'ah in English and also in Arabic. So we learn at the second part of our mosque. We train especially the youth, in English and also in Arabic, because these two languages are international languages. But we acknowledge that English is more popular indeed, and it's well known, and then it's learned in the school. But in Al Azhar, the student learn Arabic since the early
Arabic.
class. Yeah, also English and Arabic, and Alhamdulillah, I take part in this school. Inshallah, we can develop our school, and we should acknowledge that language is the key of knowledge. Al-lugha hiya al-mifta bil-ilmi. We call it in Arabic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This really interesting topic today,
Yeah.
viewers. These two guests know how to speak English well and know how to speak Arabic very well. Actually, I really want to train myself to learn Arabic too, because I want to visit a country in the West. I have to speak English. If I want to visit country in the East, just like Mesir, Egypt, Saudi, I have to know how to speak Arabic, right? Because the people there maybe will not focus on English; they just focus on their language.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, maybe I'd like to know Mr. Sultan's point of view. You said before that you have a da'wah program to collect to ask some of people to join and to learn English and Islam too. Islamic too. How did you guide them? I mean, give them instructions to make a balance between learning Islam and English in the same time. I mean, maybe you have a topic about Islam, but you make it into English language, or what is it like that?
Yeah, there are some students who are able to learn both languages at the same time.
Yeah.
But there are some who focus on one language and then later he improve the other language. For myself, I speak English first.
Yes.
I learn English, and after that, after graduating, I got a S1 or a bachelor, and then I started learning Arabic. Learning Arabic. Actually, in our group, we are still learning, but we share the learning. We share the material, Because you said you speak English. No, I speak Arabic well. No, I speak Arabic just a little, but I share my learning style, my learning method to the others in our group. Yeah, so our group we call it BBQ group. Belajar Bahasa Quran group. But because we have some members, non-Indonesian members, non-speaking Indonesian members. So we share in English.
Okay.
We share in English. We translate the material in English, or both of them, English and Indonesian. Yeah. I have some. I have a program in our channel in Anwar Language House. We have a study of Quran. In this narration in Indonesian, but have a translation in English. And now we have come to the episode, more than 100 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, and we share it.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, a long time. We did it since the COVID. The COVID era. Frankly, I regularly guide in some mosques.
Okay.
At that time, in the COVID time, we don't have opportunity to meet one another.
Yes.
And I realized that I'm from television department. I'm from television station. I work for several times. So I make a video and I distribute it regularly to the mosque.
You do it online.
Yeah, I send it online. And a friend of mine told me, why don't you go to YouTube? So they can share it. Oh yes,
nice idea.
And I started. So this the how they call it the hikmah of COVID. I started sharing my teaching, also my learning in
YouTube.
Yeah,
Finally.
Yeah, finally.
Finally you
Yeah.
make it. Yeah, that's one of actually you say the positive side of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what I can get from Mr. Sultan is because Mr. Sultan has dakwah
Yeah.
BB
BBQ and also a Nurling
from
House.
another country.
Yes,
Okay.
in a group, and also
So-
a Colonel Nurling House.
Okay, BBQ from another country. So actually, we can find the binding between English and dakwah Islam.
Yeah, yeah.
Because most of people in another country want to learn Islam, but they speak, but we
Yes.
use international language, of
Isha,
course.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is English. That's how they learn Islam by understanding the English. Because we know it that most of them are from another country, and then they use English to make themselves understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe Mr. Iqbal wants to give an addition before we come to the closing.
Yeah, I think that we should do something.
Yeah.
Especially what I said before, because our government have a plan that in 2045 we want to we have like idea that in Indonesia can compete with the developed nations. So I think we should start it from now. I mean, as people say, if not now, when?
Yeah.
So, and especially as I said also before, that we gotta use all the ways, not only in one sector, but in every sector. We should use it for our development, especially for Islamic. My suggestions, maybe this sounds foolish, but I think for the future, it's better that the mosque they prepare like preaching in 3 language,
Okay.
in Indonesia,
Arabic.
Arabic, and in English. Maybe the Jumat khutbah, not always in Indonesia, but this is for the sake of the future. We need to start from now, because the basic foundations of language is you need to be familiar with it.
Yes.
And the mistakes of our education system, that we just how to say, like, focus on the classroom. In the classroom, maybe the teachers speak in English, but when they're out of the classroom, they back to speak Indonesia. But if we have a preaching in English or in Arabic, maybe I believe that I know that must be difficult, of course, maybe for the first time.
Yeah.
But who knows that we start 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and next, then it would be easy then for us. So this is also how we communicate with the world, how Islam, the portrait of Islam to the world, sometimes bad because we don't know the language. So I think that's must be taught by our government.
Yeah, I get it. So actually, if we want to learn English, we don't just need to practice.
Yes.
Someone say, I have ever heard a proverb say, practice makes perfect, but I
Yes.
think practice makes good, but repetition
Yes,
makes perfect.
repetition.
We have to do repetition.
Sure.
Yeah.
Make it as a
our
habit,
Yeah,
yes.
make it as a habit. Okay, well, viewers, I guess it's about our talking today, our discussion today. It was such a really interesting topic, and with these 2 guests, really great guests from Mr. Iqbal and Mr. Sultan. They have shared about their experience in learning English and how to apply it in Da'wah Islam, of course. So what we can conclude today, before we come up to the end up, is about, if we want to do da'wah, we have to master all language. I think we have to know how to make a communication to another people. If we want to do da'wah in the West people, we have to know their language too. If we want to do da'wah to the East people, we have to know their language too. So the keyword today, we have to master English, and of course we have to master the language that we use in Quran, that is Arabic.
Yes.
Is that so?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay. Well, viewers, I think that's all for our discussion today. It's been a nice talking to you all, guys. We do hope that we can meet each other again next time.
Inshallah.
Yeah, and of course in healthy condition.
Yeah.
Ameen.
And of course, the viewers at home, we do hope your support to us in order that we can still make a good program for you in Al Azhar Makassar Television. I guess that's all. Thanks a lot for your kind attention, viewers, and I do hope that all of you have a good day. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.